Light map coordinates. So what exactly is the problem, if there is any? So let's say if I just put some stuff in here. For example, if I go B, and U. Let me just move that closer. And T, T, R, E, S, S, buttress. So if we put buttress in here, right? And then let's say we build. Let's see if this thing breaks or not. I should save this also. 5%. Let me save all here also, save all. I don't know if I need like UV mapping. I probably need UV mapping. LED channel 0, LED channel 1. There's no UV mapping. Huh. And I don't think we can just create UV mapping here. I think we actually have to bounce, collision, show pivot. Oh, I should probably check tangents. I mean, that seems reasonable. Or is it reasonable? Maybe it's not reasonable. All the tangents are pointing that way. That's weird. Normals. Well, no, normals look correct. That looks correct. It's also taking a crazy amount of time to build the lighting. And we're on preview quality. Oh no, it's not that long. Okay. Up to 78. UV mapping, am I right? So what would be the way to do the UV mapping? Because here, because these are text objects, I don't think we can UV this one. Just from, like, I think we have to convert to static mesh before we can unwrap UV on this. So let me just go convert to mesh. And then on the mesh, we can we can't. No, we can't. Wait a minute. Edit mode, mesh, UV unwrap, light map pack. Pack each faces UV into the UV bounds. Smart UV project. Okay. which, I mean, I don't really know. UV and UVs. There's nothing here. I don't know what that means, really. Huh. Let me go revert. Message log complete. It took about 2 minutes to complete. And we have buttress. But there's no lighting on buttress. Okay, well, I think we can confirm that the UV mapping is a problem on these things because there's literally no UV mapping. Right? Right. We got the UV mapping on the letter A last time. But I don't quite remember how we managed to do it because we kind of bumbled our way into it. So lower A, and there's no UV unwrap here. We convert to mesh, and then actually no, undo. We don't convert to mesh. So if we go to edit mode, yeah, there's no UV unwrapping on the text. Object mode, object convert to mesh. There's a lot of polygons too. So our buttress is not lit. It's just not lit right. It's casting shadows kind of right, which is interesting to me. Buttress. Alright, so let me just cancel that. Object. So now we go to edit mode, mesh, UV unwrap. Unwrap the mesh of the object being edited. Oh, do I have to select everything first? I think what I need to do is select all. Select faces. Where's my faces? Face select. Select all. Are there faces, or am I crazy? Hold on. Those are faces, right? And then we go mesh, UV unwrapped, smart UV project. Okay. Oh, there you go. Found it, guys. Does it overlap? It doesn't overlap, right? I'm hoping it doesn't overlap. Please, no overlap. So we like scroll down to here. Don't do that. So it appears that it does not overlap, although it gets pretty close. Do we have to do this for every single object? Or let me save as alphabet soup 2, just in case. So object convert to mesh, edit mode, select all, UV unwrap smart project. And then we go to check the UV editing. There you go, there's the UV. This seems correct. This seems correct. Default. So let's go to our buttress. Let's go to capital B, convert to mesh, and then edit mode, select all, UV unwrap, smart UV project, and UV editing. Right, that's good. So now let's go back to default, and then let's save. Let's export this to Alphabet Soup 2. I feel like I should scale this up as well. Anyway, Alphabet Soup 2. Oh, I don't want to be Alphabet Soup 2. I want to replace Alphabet Soup 1. Hold on. File export. Can I delete this from here? Delete the file. Alright, good. Let's export to that, so I can keep the naming. Right, and then here I want to re-import the whole thing. It's gonna take a while. And so now the B, the big B, should have UV mapping on it. Right. Oh, okay, now the big B has, you see that? It's got a texture on it now, kind of. Big B now has a texture on it. And if we go look at big B, in fact, big B looks rather good, if you ask me. Alright, big B, UV, there you go, there's channel 0. Channel 1 also has stuff on it. I don't know why it doesn't generate channel 1. So channel 0 is what we've generated in Blender. But channel 1, it seems like Unreal like rearranges the thing, rearranges channel 0 into channel 1 for us, even though it's a different thing. Like it rearranges the UV channel. But if it doesn't have channel 0 to work from, it doesn't make a channel 1. So it seems to generate channel 1 from channel 0. But we definitely didn't make channel 1 in Blender. We only made channel 0 in Blender. Anyway, so this time, if once this is done, it should give us proper lighting on the big B. So we still need to change all this into static meshes. So what are the shortcuts? Alt-C. No. So this one, Alt-C mesh. And then, how do you change the object mode again? What is the shortcut for this? Anyway. And U. Alright, so the shortcut we want is U. Smart UV project, okay. In fact, we might just go do this. But I want the other window. UV editing. Can I get the UV editing? Can I duplicate this? Window, duplicate window. Oh, well. I mean, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Can I duplicate this? View. Duplicate area into new window. Okay, that one. And then this one, let's switch this back to... Oh man, I just made a bunch of new stuff, which I don't really want. Or maybe... Actually, let me change my mind. Wait a minute, I don't want these. This one I don't want. This one I don't want. How do I delete that? Ah, crap. It's not what I meant to do. Can I undo? I can't undo from here. Oh no! I forgot how everything works. Info. Alright, we're gonna delete this UV editing too. Okay, good, we're back. Holy crap, Dark Souls. The Dark Souls of 3D imaging, 3D modeling software, I mean. Okay, from here, I'm gonna come this way. And then this one, no, close that, and close that. This one is UV image, okay, this is what I wanted. Alright, so we open a new window here. Alright, this is great. So now B has lighting on it. Now the B of the buttress has lighting on it. And if we launch our buttress, we can see how the light shines onto the capital B. I mean, I guess Blender. So I was complaining earlier about how Blender lets you change the UI for seemingly no reason. Oh, look how lighted that bee is. Look how delightful. Although there's a bit of an error there because I guess it's too small. Look at that bee. You see that? Look at the lighting on it. Phew. I should not do that. I think we can disable the gun. I was looking briefly at this gun stuff too, and we can probably change this up a bit. Alright, let's get out of here. Cancel that. Alright, so we need to change all of this into meshes. We've got this one and Alt C, convert to mesh, and then edit mode, all of that, and then what was it again? U smart project, okay, and then we can see it here, right? Alright, so this is go Alt C, convert, edit mode, or U smart project, okay. Can I like, I just want to do multiple. Can I do like multiple ones at the same time and look at shift? Can I get both of them and go Alt C mesh? Oh, maybe I can. Edit mode or smart project, okay. But that doesn't include F, does it? No, but I can, oops. F edit mode or U. Okay, so I can convert all of them to static meshes at the same time. I just select them all, which saves me quite a few keys. There's a lot of meshes. So I hope you can start to see how this sort of work becomes... It just becomes a lot of work, right? A lot of hours. as you create more and more and more meshes. Like this is just less than 100. We're messing with less than 100 meshes, and we're making text, and text is mostly automated too. So this is not even a lot of work, really. Convert to mesh. Great. Except now, I can't remember which ones I've done already. Wait a minute, why is there no... Oh, it's only in edit mode? Really? Why do you only see it in edit mode? Oh, you can change the edit mode from here. Great. Hey, that's great. Is that what I... Oh, that's cool. Hey, that's handy. That's actually really handy. Alright, this one, this one, this one. Or you unwrap. Okay. Sweet. And, or you unwrap. Okay. We are figuring out the shortcuts, guys. Despite Blender being the Dark Souls of 3D modeling programs. I wonder if this is too much geometry. This is a lot of polygons. On the other hand, maybe this is too many polygons. Now that I think about it, I wonder if the resolution is too high. I think it is too high. Oh, you know, let me change my mind a little bit. This is like a lot of geometry. Go back to Alphabet Soup 1. So the geometry is here. The resolution, so this is 12. 12 seems like a lot. I might just redo all of this. So 12 is that. If we change it to like 1, then it becomes that, which is a little low. 2, 3, 4. So what we want to do is just see at what point we can't tell the difference anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. So 12 and 5 is pretty much the same to our eyes. And in fact, we can probably cut it down to 3, right? And then if we convert this to a mesh, we will see that there's still that many polygons. That's 3, right? What if we change it to 2? Edit mode, object mode. Mesh text. What if we change it to 2? Which is noticeable. Like when you change to 3 to 2 is noticeable. Anything above 3 is not noticeable. So at 2, if we convert this to a mesh, that seems right. 2 seems right, to be honest. Anything more than that is probably way too much geometry, right? I should have done this before. So let me revert this and go file, save as soup2. So we need to can I change all of these at the same time? Like if I do this, I make this 2, it only changes one at a time. Okay, well. Alright, we're gonna change all of these. I'm gonna change all of these to 2. And I'm probably gonna resave this as the polygons do become noticeable at 2 though, look at that. Look at that D. Like, you can see the polygon there. Maybe 3. I know 3 is more polygons. I mean, but these are beautiful letters, and we don't want to have them all pointy and stuff. 3 is okay. Let's go for 3. I think 3 is a decent balance. All right, so we're gonna have to redo all of this again. 3. Anything above 3 is not really noticeable. Okay, 3. 3 it is. And that would probably make everything a lot better in the long run. It's good that I caught that too. This might be the sort of thing that you wouldn't catch if you are doing this for the first time. But all the polygons multiply, right? So if you have like 4 times as many polygons, between 3 and 12 is 4 times as many polygons. But then you don't just use them once. Like every letter you use multiple times because I'm going to make sentences and paragraphs out of this. So in the end, like you might have 4 million polygons instead of 1 million polygons. And that really makes a difference. When anything is done at scale. I want to see this X. Yeah, no, this X is like that. When you do anything at scale, all of this like really becomes really noticeable. And especially noticeable when you get close to certain boundaries, right? Like your graphics card, for example. If your graphics card can handle 1 million polygons, but not 2 million, I mean, obviously, modern graphics card can handle more than that. But just throwing numbers out there. If the graphics card can handle 1 million polygons, but not 2 million, like the limit is at 1 million, anything under 1 million will run smoothly. Everything above 1 million will start to lag. So if you have 100 polygons and your graphics card can handle 1 million, like the difference between 100 and 1 million is nothing. Like it doesn't make any difference. But once you get over 1 million, then your graphics card will start to lag. Although it's not that noticeable at first, because like 1,000,001 is not that much more than 1 million. But once you get to 2 million, you're like at what half the frame rate or something. And you get up to 4 million, and then 10 million, and then your game doesn't run anymore. So there are like boundaries that you don't want to cross, and everything under the boundary runs perfectly fine. Everything above the boundary doesn't. Anyway, so we're cutting all this down to 3 instead of 12. And I chose 3 because the curves still look curvy and not polygons to the naked eye. Although here, like, you can kind of see the polygons. On the big round stuff, you can kind of see the polygons. If we up it to like 5, then you can't, but I'm just gonna keep everything at 3. Oops, 3. Whoa! And we need to like double check everything too. And because like we're generating these shapes out of letters, like when you have a line, you don't notice. Like when everything is just lines, you don't notice. When everything is just one flat shape, you don't notice. And then even when you extrude the letter, you don't really notice. And then you turn it into a mesh, and then you see the polygons, and then you notice. So this stuff, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to know. You kind of have to know beforehand, or you kind of have to have this experience before stuff like this occurs to you, right? And I'm thinking back to, back when I was at school, and we're learning this sort of stuff. We did have a course that used Unreal Engine 2, I think it was. It couldn't have been 3. I think it was Unreal Engine 2. And like we had a project to kind of make the Colosseum because it was in Rome. Like the site was in Rome. We were kind of going to make a Colosseum to put in a distance. And some of the people who were working on the Colosseum were not experienced designers. I mean, none of us were. We were all students, but they were less experienced than they could have been. And they made the Colosseum, and it all looked great. And then they put it in Unreal 2, and it just lagged the hell out of the engine. And they're like, why does everything lag? And I'm like, you have too many polygons. I mean, like, White House. Like, what other reason could there be, right? They're like, oh, my game lags. Why? Because there's too many polygons. And they're like, well, we didn't put that many polygons in. We didn't put any polygons. So I went back to their model, and I looked at the wireframe, and they hadn't changed the default. So in 3ds Max back then, maybe it still is now. So when you make a cylinder, by default, it cuts the cylinder into 5 segments. Because I guess they suppose that you're going to use the cylinder to make a more complex shape, so they give you more polygons to start with. So the default cylinder has something like 64 circular things and then 5 vertical segments to make the cylinder. And so all their columns had like 5 times as many vertical polygons than they needed. And obviously the circular, you don't need 64 of those either. You only need, because if it's a column and the Colosseum is far away, so you only need like, I don't know, 8, because you're not going to see it up close. So they had like, what is that, 4 times 5, they had like 20 times more polygons per column than they needed to. And the Colosseum has a lot of columns. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of columns in the Colosseum. And so the whole thing was just, 20 times more polygons than it needed to be? And the vertical segments, you don't even see them, because when it's rendered, when it's shaded, or when it's textured, it's just, long rectangles. You don't even see those segments. Like, it's not even visible to your eyes, but the computer is calculating 20 times more polygons than they needed to be. And it's very similar to what I'm doing right now, is that, like, this is 12, whereas it could be 3. And so, like, there's 4 times more polygons here than necessary. I don't even know if it's 4, if it multiplies, or if it's, I don't know if this preview resolution is linear or if it's kind of multiplicative. If it's multiplicative, then it's even crazier. Actually, I can probably check, right? So, have I done all this? Okay, I've done all this. Let me just save this. So, this is 31.31373 faces. If this is 12, it's 32318 faces. So so this is 31373. Let me just open the other one. This is 116099. So it's about 4 times. It's about 4 times as many faces here than before. And that's not even counting triangles. Triangles is 154,000. This one is 40,000. So it's less than a quarter of the triangles as before. And the shapes don't really look any different. Like, these don't really look any different than before. They look pretty much the same as before. So this is the same sort of thing. And I'm telling you the story because I'm just gonna save this again. Save as we don't need the old one. And I'm telling you these stories because it's a common mistake. And I was like halfway into making the same mistake. Is that you just kind of use the default settings and you don't think about how this thing scales up. As it scales up into all the letters of the alphabet, uppercase and lowercase, and all the punctuation, then all of a sudden it's just 100,000 more triangles than it needs to be. And that's only the set of letters you're working with when you kind of use multiple letters to form sentences and words, and all of that adds up, right? Everything adds up. and a million triangles goes pretty fast. Like it doesn't take very long to get up to a million, especially when you copy and paste. So once you start copy and pasting these things, you can get billions of polygons without that many keystrokes. But that's not a good thing. Like a big number is not a good thing when it comes to polygons. So anyway, yeah, things you learn as you go. All right, so now we have to. What are we doing? We're gonna save this. We're gonna save as 2. So now we have to convert alphabet soup 2 into meshes. Actually, we can select everything. We can select everything here and convert them all to meshes at the same time. Great. And then we go this, and we go all in, all you smart project, okay. Next one, all you, okay. All right, we're gonna do this 90 something times. Oh wait, I need to check while I do this. Let me do that. And no, go away. Go away, go away, no, go away. Go away. This one is UV editor. Alright, I just wanna make sure that I check this as we go. Just to check that we are doing this properly. A, B, C, U project, great. Because if we do it wrong, then it wouldn't show on the other side, right? So that's why I have that window open to make sure that I didn't misclick something and fail to get a UV map out of it. And you can see there's still a lot of triangles here, even though we turned down the resolution quite a lot. There's still a lot of triangles. And before I was looking at this and I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of geometry, and so that's why it came to my mind that I probably needed to turn down the resolution on the lettering. And again, the fact that I picked that up and I fixed it before I got very far into doing this means that I saved time, right? I could have done the whole alphabet set and then put everything into Unreal and then made a level with it and then have the computer crash on me because there's too many polygons before I came back to redo this. So the learning process is really time consuming. Like you make all sorts of silly mistakes while you are learning. And these sorts of mistakes you kind of have to make before you figure it out. So on the one hand, they are silly mistakes. On the other hand, it's the kind of mistakes that you really want to make because that's how you learn, right? You welcome these sorts of mistakes and you want to try and make them as soon as possible so that you become smarter later on. Look how many polygons there are. Look at that. Look how many triangles there are down there. It's because everything is curved, right? So this particular font, even though I do like it a lot, it's a lot of polygons because everything is circles and curves. It's it's a lot of polygons. And we want to keep everything round. I can't see the buttons. Right, I mean, this one's pretty simple there. And like that one's pretty simple too. Yeah, I mean, unless you understand the entire workflow, like unless you've done the whole thing before, like how would you know? If you're doing this for the first time, how would you know when you're first making your geometry? How would you know how it would impact the final product, right? Like at the very end, it's gonna cause your game to be laggy and slow for no good reason. Like how would you know that? If you haven't done it once before, like if you haven't gone through the whole process once before, you wouldn't know. But yeah, like I was like we tested buttress in Unreal, and I guess I also saw the loading times. Like I also saw how long these things were taking to import and how long they were taking to save. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I haven't done that much, and it's already taking a long time to load, a long time for the light maps to calculate. So like in the back of my mind, I'm already thinking, right, this is gonna become a big problem as I go forward and add more and more complexity to this. So like I got a sense of it. Like it's a sort of a gut feeling you get because you've experienced this. Well, I have. I've experienced this before, right? Like after you make multiple projects, you get a sense of like how far you're into the project, how much you've done already, how much more you think you're gonna have to do, and how the computer is struggling to keep up. Like when you're 20% into your project, your computer should not be struggling because if your computer is struggling at 20% of the work done, by the time you get to 80% of the work done, the computer is just going to crash. Not to, never mind the 100%, right? So if it's already struggling and you're only 20% into the process, well, it's not going to do it. Like the computer is not going to handle it. When you get to the end of the project, you're just going to find that everything is just going to fall apart on you. So the idea that we have barely just imported all our letters into Unreal, and already Unreal is noticeably slowing down. It's a bit of a warning sign. Although of course, you can't. You have to do what you have to do, right? If you have, if you want the geometry, you need the geometry, then you have to make the geometry. But you just have to keep an eye on stuff like that. All right, so everything. Let me just double check. Let me just double check that on this side, on the far side of the screen there, that every single shape has a UV map. All right. All right, that's all good. That's all good. And it seems like I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm just double checking. So why are you double checking? You already checked it once, you've done it twice, you check it again. Well, again, as you move forward, everything compounds. So any mistake here, the further you go, the harder it is to go back and fix your mistakes. So it's a good idea to double check along the way. And this is true of this sort of 3D modeling work. It's not as true of some other things. Like if you're typing an essay and you make a spelling mistake, well, you can fix the spelling mistake at any time. It doesn't really change the essay. On the other hand, if you're writing an essay and your research is wrong and the whole argument is based on something that has been disproven, then you have to rewrite the whole essay. You know what I mean? Like the whole essay is just junk because it's based on nonsense. So that's a problem. So some things are a problem and some things are not. That's not what I wanted to do. I forgot how to close these things. I forgot how to close these things. Oh, join. Alright, join that. Join that. Alright, done. We're done with that one. So save again. And object mode, save again. Now with 1/4 the triangles, and we're gonna go export again. FBX, geometries, face, alphabet soup, export. Great. As far as I can tell, that's great. And then we import alphabet soup another time. And import all. And you can see how this is much faster than before. And there's no errors this time. Auto saving out of date packages. Okay. You see how much faster that was to import? Save or save selected. And you see how much faster it is to save? Amazing. Amazing. And now there's UV mapping for all of this. And we can also build. And this should also build much faster. And the buttress looks better than, well, first of all, we put the UV map on it, so the buttress obviously has lighting now, and it looks better than before. But besides that, the lighting part, it's gonna look great, even though it's got like 1/4 of the amount of geometry on it. And that's really the goal, is to be efficient. It's good to be efficient, right? So if you can make something look good with 10 polygons, then don't make the same thing with 100 polygons. That's just a waste. You're wasting 90 polygons for no reason. So you want it to be efficient, and you want to have a good balance between performance and quality. It's still taking a while. Not that, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff here that we don't want anymore. We need to remove the arena and the cubes, and we want to put in our own stuff in its place. All right, let me just get this thing to build the lighting. It's still taking a while. You can see that it is still taking a while. And so it is still a bit of a concern. This is also low quality lighting too. It's not production quality. So the production quality is going to be even longer to do. This build time is rather long. I'm not sure if that's my fault or if the arena itself is at fault. Right, so we've rebuilt the lighting. Lighting build completed. No errors, which is great. That took 5 minutes? Oh wait, no, milliseconds, my bad. It's not 5 minutes. Buttress. Wow, look at the lighting on this buttress. Look how good this buttress looks. That seems to be an issue there, though. Or is that just the shadow? Like, is that an issue? Like, is that a thing? Is that a problem? Is that a lighting error? There was a thing on the B before. Okay, there. Like, I think there's a lighting error here, too. But, as we said, this is low quality lighting. This is preview quality, so I guess it's not really that big of a problem. Launch. Save selected. Alright, so we've got all our letters in here. and they all have UV mapping on it, and all the UV mapping works as far as we can tell. So the geometry we've done. So I think I'm done for today. I think now is a good time for me to take a break. We haven't spent much time here today as the other days, but I do want a bit of a break from all this. Next thing to do would be materials, I believe. Alright, here we go. The buttress is a bit small. It's a small buttress. It's a small buttress, but it does look pretty good. It's not a big buttress. But man, look how good that lighting looks on it. Don't you wish the lighting looked this good on your buttress? Great. Amazing. I am looking forward to making huge levels with letters. Not necessarily with buttress, but with other words. Cool. Yeah, alright. Letters and numbers and punctuation, am I right? Alright, so let me save everything here. And I suppose I should save this too. Alright, so we're done with Blender. For this Alphabet Soup project, we're done with Blender. And the next thing we are gonna look at, I think, should be materials. Oh, there's also a realistic rendering tutorial. Or not a tutorial, it's a sample file. Maybe we look at the realistic lighting sample file for some examples for how to do materials. Although this seems kind of complicated, to be honest. This seems super complicated. The rug is 5 layers. 5 shapes to give the illusion of a volumetric form, along with the material which gives the effect of fibers. This is so interesting. Alright, so when we come back in the next video, we look at materials and we look at some realistic materials and I guess lighting as well. And or do we get into... No, we should probably look at materials first. I also want to just start making this level, just start like scaling up these letters into huge shapes and then start walking around on words and letters. But materials next. Alright, I'll see you.